I need a 30 for 30 to show that I'm different like Jordan and Pippen. I need a 30 for 30 like Jalen and Webber. Nobody gon' fuck with my clique. I need a 30 for 30. All right, man, I'm happy to be on here with my brother again for another edition of How About Them Cowboys with Ray. What's happening, dog?
One more time, man. Always glad to be on here with you, brother.
Hey, America, my brother brought reinforcements in here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
He brought
should have done it a long time ago, but I'm better late than never. So let's do it.
Hey, you got another member of Cowboys Nation. This one hails all the way from Harlem, New York.
Yes, sir.
I'm bringing in my brother, Mr. Rob Patty. What's happening, dog?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
My man.
Trying to get it. Now, before we get into the Cowboys past week and what's coming up against the 49ers, you got to tell America, how in the world did you end up being a Dallas Cowboy fan when you hail from Harlem, New York, and you had New York Football Giants to choose from? You got the New York Jets, but no, you went with America's team.
Go ahead and educate them, though. Go ahead and educate them.
How did that happen?
So, just to kind of give you guys a little backstory. So, my mom's from the South, from Alabama. My pops is from New York City, right? Okay. My mom is a diehard Cowboys fan. My pops, he was a Giants fan. However, when I started watching TV, right, watching football, was in the 90s, right when the Cowboys was hot. So, it was like, who do you like? You like Lawrence Taylor that's always getting in trouble? Or do you like the Cowboys that are always winning, right? With Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and Troy Aikman, and just all these characters. And it was just like, I gravitated towards them, and I'm stuck. Like, it's not easy being a Cowboys fan, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So now, this is something. Because I keep trying to tell my daughter that it is against the law for a child not to like their father's team. So what you're telling me is that you went against the wishes of your father,
against the grain, man,
and went with your mother's team, and your mother's team happened to be in the NFC East and be a rival.
He went with the truth, is what he did.
It's a lot. It was a lot easier to jump on that bandwagon back then.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this. It's funny you say that though. I told my wife, our daughter can only be a Cowboys fan or a Falcons fan, right? And you can't be one or the other. Like it's like you can't be a Saints fan living in this household. Right. Like either you follow me or you follow the city you born in.
Yeah.
Who got to disown you? I mean, it is what it is. She got me.
When she hit those teenage years and start trying to rebel, she gonna say she repping the Eagles on you. Watch out now.
That's what y'all gonna hear. Yeah, I had to put her out.
Yeah.
Anything but an Eagles fan.
Well, man, what were y'all thoughts on the Cowboys getting that victory? I know some people trying to poo-poo the victory since there was no Joe Burrow there, but hey, y'all ain't got Dak Prescott. So what were y'all thoughts on the game? Ray, let's start with you, dog.
Okay. So for me, if you've been watching this show, you know how I feel. At this point, it serves no purpose to win, right? So I'm a competitor. I always want to win games, always, except for when I'm trying to win real games. Like us winning right now doesn't matter. So to me, it's a bad loss, right? Because at the end of the day, I look at it for draft positioning more than playoff positioning. So that's why I say that. It's not about me not being competitive. It's just I see the long game in this one. We're not going to the playoffs. We're not going to be in the postseason. So if I can't do that, then I want to have the best situation possible for a draft prospect. And any win at this point is a bad win. And listen, the score, 30-7, it's not even what it looks like, man. Like if you go back and look at the stats, what we can get into later if you want to, it's not even that dominant of a performance. It's just a bad team facing a worse team, and the bad team just happened to win.
Patty, what were your thoughts, dog?
You know what's so funny about beating up on the Bengals? It's like beating up on your little brother because it's eerily similar, right? Like this setup that they have. They got a pretty good running back. They got a pretty good quarterback that's injured. They got really good receivers, and that's about it, right? Like that's what the Cowboys are. That's what the Bengals are. It's just for us, like Ray Jr. said, it's a bad win. But as a fan, when the game is on, you're rooting for them.
Yeah.
But like right now, I want them to lose every game possible, except for this Sunday, right? Like this Sunday, I want them to beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
But at the, no player on the Cowboys, too many players on the Cowboys who this is their final season on the team, right? Or final season under their contract. So they can't afford to not try to play to the best of their ability, right? And then the same thing with this coach. He knows, like, man, you got the biggest view on you. Everybody's looking at you, Mike McCarthy. So it's not like you losing, with the Packers where you're still known, but now it's like they do segments on segments on segments about the Cowboys, and you're being critiqued to a level that you never have. So I understand the win, but like Ray Jr., long term is better. That's what the focus needs to be. But Jerry Jones has too much pride, so he can't think long term. He can only think, man, I gotta get these short wins, but the rest of these years I got left.
Yeah.
All right, Patty. Now you just mentioned Mike McCarthy, so let's stick right there. I think Stephen Jones, did Jerry Jones kind of piggyback on Stephen's comment?
Both of them did. Both of them did.
So Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones have come out and said that Mike McCarthy will be back next year. Now, I know how one person on this podcast right now feels about that, because this brother right here in America, if you don't know what I'm talking about this brother right here has been calling for the job of Mike McCarthy for weeks now. Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to start with you, Patty, and see, how did you feel when you saw that news come out?
I'm not surprised about anything that Jerry Jones says at this point, right? Like, he couldn't give any answer outside of that, which would be like, hey, he has my full support. I understand this is a season like no other season. It's his first year. It's all of those things run true. There's parts of what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones say that sound like excuses, and then there's other parts that are reasons. And depending on what side that you're looking at it from, you're going to look at it through that scope. I think it's reasons, right? That's just me being the optimistic person. I'm like, hey, it's our first year, new system, pandemic. There's not another coach who's in their first year this year who has a winning record. So you kind of look at those things and you're like, all right, it's for us. And then you multiply that with the amount of injuries that happen. Like, our strong suit has always been our offense for the last few years. And you take key pieces out with the tackles being gone. Our tight end, I'm talking about second series of the season, he's gone. Right tackles never played. And not to even mention, this is before you even mention Dak Prescott, who, he's been gone for 8 games now, and 3 quarterbacks they've had replace him and just now equal his yardage that he had in his first 4 games. It's you can't expect for anybody to look at it from a different standpoint of like, man, I got to stick with this guy because we just gave the other dude 10 years. We don't want to be like, and just the ego thing, right? I can't admit I made him a bad hire, even though a lot of us think like, how the hell did you hire Mike McCarthy after one night, right? Like, this is the biggest coaching NFL vacancy that had been open in the last 5 years. And you didn't interview more than just one person. I mean, 2 people, and one was just for the Rooney Rule. It was, you expect nothing different when it comes to those 2. That's the issue that you run across with them.
Ray Caesar.
So you know how I feel. You know how I feel.
Should I get the mute button ready? The bleep button ready?
No, we're not gonna do that, because if you've been watching this show, you know how I feel.
Right.
To Patty's point, everything he said is true now. Ego, your investment, you got to give this guy another shot. I even said I knew this was coming, but it just doesn't change my thought process. And here's why. Here's why I think it's just a bad decision. It was a bad decision before they made it. It's a bad decision today. And Jerry Jones is gonna, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong as a fan, but Jerry Jones is going to be wishing that he, push the button now instead of giving this guy another year or two because of his ego. Yes, he does not have his best guys, running and gunning right now. I get that. I respect that. That is a legitimate excuse for the 2020 season. But the decisions that this man has made shows me that he's not a caliber of coach that can win you. What Jerry Jones wants is the Super Bowl. That's all that's in Jerry Jones' mind. He said in a recent interview, y'all don't even understand the check that I would write to win a Super Bowl. Like, that's how all in that he's in.
That's what he said.
For Mike McCarthy, he's the guy that goes for it on 4th down on his own 20 when his team is trailing by 5 or 6 points against a divisional rival. It's not a smart decision. So whether you have Dak and Zeke and Amari or Jesus Christ or whoever's on your team, right? It doesn't matter, because when the game is on the line, he's going to do something. He's going to do something that's going to ruin the game for you. That's what I mean when I say Mike McCarthy's not a good coach. Nobody.
But if you get Jesus, though, okay.
He's going to ruin it. He's going to ruin it. That's what I mean. In this moment, Mike McCarthy is the guy that you don't want having to make an executive decision, right? Right now, we all get excuses. I don't expect anybody to walk in there and fix the Dallas Cowboys. So, yeah, he gets a pass for this. But Patty and I had this conversation before. What happens when Mike McCarthy has Dak and Tyron Smith, right, and La'el Collins and everybody, the entire defensive line, the entire offensive line, everybody? We're in the playoffs, NFC Championship, with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Or God forbid we're in the Super Bowl, and he makes that boneheaded decision that he's made all season. Decision making is what a head coach is supposed to do. Put your team in a position to win games. When his team has competed in those few games that they competed and put themselves in positions to win, Mike McCarthy has done everything to ruin that. Redskins, Steelers, a couple of other games. He's done stuff to make you say, dude, what are you thinking? Right? That's his job. His job is to make sure that they're successful. So that's why I say it's a bad move. And all we're doing, in my opinion, is delaying the inevitable. The inevitable is this: when the game is on the line, he's going to screw us. The important thing on this show right now, with these three gentlemen on this show, we all know about Mike McCarthy. Patty and I are Cowboys fans. Y'all know my brother's a Packers fan, right? He knows that Mike McCarthy is not the reason for them winning that Super Bowl. It's Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I think we have a good one in Dak Prescott if he chooses to re-sign. What I'm telling you is, if we leave it up to Mike McCarthy, we're in trouble. Point blank, period.
Look, y'all know we got a lot of 49ers fans in the clique.
Of course we do.
Okay.
Wow.
Whole lot of. So I want to see if y'all can tell them and 49ers Nation why y'all gonna give them that L this. Why that man looking like that? Why y'all gonna give him that L this week? Or do y'all think y'all gonna give him that L?
I mean, honestly, I'll go first on this one, Patty, and I'll let you have the back end of this one.
Okay.
I do think we're gonna do it. This is where I got to contradict myself, right? I keep saying, like, I don't want us to win games for draft positioning, but I really just don't want to hear from my other brothers and Clay and Joe who own this show. I don't want to hear it, because we've had conversations on camera and off about, like, guys making excuses for the injuries that they've had and saying that's the reason why they're bad. No, you're bad because you're bad. Like that's the reality of it. I can sit here on this show and say the Cowboys are bad because of injuries, but they're just also a bad football team. There are a lot of starters on the defense who just are not performing, where my man Clay come on the show and he's like, well, you gotta understand we're missing an all-pro this and all-pro that. Well, okay, man. Yeah, I got it. But so are we, right?
Right.
You're bad. I don't want to lose to a bad team. I've done that. I've done that all season, really, if we're being honest about it. So I don't want to lose to a bad team, and I definitely don't want to lose to the 49ers, because I have to hear from Joe and Clay until we play them again. I just don't want to hear it. Go ahead, Patty.
So let's be honest. When the season started and I was talking noise to them, it was supposed to be a lot more exciting than what we're running across now, right? Like I was hit as soon as I saw they were on the schedule. I sent them the text like, "Hey, put your money up," right? And I'm calling them soft because they ain't responded in 5 minutes or so. Like, "Hey, y'all must be scared." Now, this is as bad as it gets, right? Like, but the reality of it is, I don't love the 49ers. I think they're a great organization, but I don't like their fans. They're a bit much for me because if we lose to them, that's a three-headed monster right there. And then you got the people who actually dislike the Cowboys just for disliking the Cowboys.
True.
Honestly, though, we could actually win this game. And the last time we played them, we beat them by 30. So,
shot.
I mean, there was the 49ers, to be honest with you, they can surprise you because they have this one fluke season like last season, right? And you're like, man, everything came together. I mean, let's all jokes aside. So you count this season, you take away last season, you count the 3-4 seasons before that, they've won no more than 5 games in the season, right? Like their last year was a fluke, right? And this is the thing. I don't give props for making it to the Super Bowl and not winning when we've already set the criteria that you actually have to win it.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
And so because of that, they don't get any props for last season when, it is what it is. But, they don't really have their best corners, right? They can't contain all 3 of the wide receivers that we have. And as much as he gets criticized, Amari Cooper has actually had a pretty decent season thus far. Obviously, it kind of fell off numbers-wise, but when you have one of the best route runners in the game and you don't have a real true corner that can stop him, he's going to feast on them boys. Fred Warner, their top linebacker, he's out. You look at it, for us, that opens up the running game. They're without Deebo Samuel, so us being without our top 3-4 corners, that's actually going to benefit us. We can actually put pressure on who do they got? Dan, what is it? Gilbert, whatever their quarterback name is, some dude. It's not the dude from Southern Miss. That's who I root for. The other dude is just the other dude is trash. He actually makes Southern Miss look bad though. No, I mean from the standpoint like his turnover ratio is worse than Carson Wentz, who we know is an embarrassment to the Eagles organization, and that's an embarrassing organization.
Shout out to Nick Mullins, man. He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it.
Hey, America, y'all can't see right now, but my other brother, JoJo, is back in the green room right now.
He's sick right now.
He's disgusted.
He can't wait. He can't wait to hop on.
I'm gonna bring him on in a segment or so and let y'all hear what he got to say about this. But he's disgusted for how these Cowboys coming out. But America, you got to understand. And those of y'all that grew up in them 90s, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you grew up on Biggie and Tupac, if you grew up watching Mike Jordan, you know what Cowboys Niners is. You know what I'm saying? That old legendary game. They for a while there, whichever one of them won, it was either them or my Packers. Which whoever won gonna go to the Super Bowl and beat who about the AFC.
It's true.
It was that real, and so when you see those jerseys out there and those helmets, it's gonna be real nostalgic. So if you got somebody in your family, America, that grew up in them 90s, give them some time. Let them get nostalgic. Let them listen to some Big L Pac or something while they watching the game. Get out their way. And let them enjoy the game. It's gonna be some money put down on this. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of money spent gambling this weekend because there's a lot of black folks that are Cowboys and Niners fans. So,
and you know what's the best? You know what's the best part about it? Like in reality, both teams are trash. But it feels, but it just feels like it's worth something. You know what I mean? So like
it means more. It's a fair fight because y'all both lacking a lot of players. I think it's gonna be a fair fight.
So for the first time, like honestly, for me personally, since the Steelers game where we actually competed and you saw that they cared about like what the outcome looks like, it's actually a game that I'm looking forward to seeing. Maybe not the rest of the country. Maybe not the rest of the country because both teams are so bad. But for me personally, this is like a game where I can tune in and be like, all right, man, this is worth something now. It is.
Yeah, that is the first time since they've been doing that flex stuff.
That they
This
moved
the
us
first
out.
time I've seen them flex a Cowboy game out of prime time.
That tells you something. That tells you something. Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a good game though.
Yeah, I do too.
I hope not. I hope we beat the crap out of them. But to be honest with you, like, and I tell them this, everybody I know, 49ers are a really good organization, right? Like, I like a lot of things about them. And despite the fact that, we have our differences, like for them, you got to understand when two of their players retired. Yeah, but when two of their players retired, right? Those were the GOATs in their position at that time, right? Which is Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, right? Like it's something to say about that. Hell, even their coach was considered like the GOAT coach when he retired. Yeah. But the funny thing when I think about like our comparison, you ever know like a dude took a matter of fact, you think about Future and Bow Wow, right? Like Bow Wow dated these chicks and Future just went and got them pregnant, like afterwards, right? That's how like we are. We're their Future, right? Like we took Charles Haley from them. We took Deion Sanders. And you think about it, when they go and they do interviews now, they don't even mention the 49ers years, right? They like, I'm a Cowboy. That's how they feel. Like, that's how they feel.
We coming to your soul, baby. I got you.
It's like we took their girl, did what we wanted with them, and they never talked about that past relationship.
He's not wrong.
Well, America, y'all see that the pulse of Cowboy Nation, my brother Ray Cesar Leo and that boy Rob Patton, they are juice for this game. So hope y'all enjoy. I'll definitely be watching. But that is another segment of How About Them Cowboy with Ray. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go.
Subscribe to our daddy's YouTube channel. He's the best. Hit the like button, turn on the notifications.